Hey, Mike, how are you today?
Doing great, as good as can be expected with all the attacks that just keep coming on my pillow and myself. It just doesn't seem to end. It's been quite a battle.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, some of you have never heard Mike Lindell before. Some of you know Mike Lindell, and some of you think you know Mike Lindell. And what we're going to talk about today is kind of a follow-up since our last interview and kind of frame what's going on with the news. Because frankly, you could take the top Fortune 100 companies. They are being sued every day. Most of them are publicly traded. You never hear about any of it. Some things are unjust lawsuits, some are just lawsuits, some are absolutely horrid, yet they never make one headline. You have Hollywood actors and actresses doing despicable, evil, wicked things, and their movies don't get banned, pulled, their career goes on. So the question is, why do people attack Mike Lindell so ferociously? Where, if you really think about it, he was America's sweetheart. And then he took a stand for what he believed. He put his money where his mouth is. He put his livelihood, his future, his career, his company, his employees' companies all on the line to help America, to help you. And if you're a Marxist, if you're a socialist, if you're a communist, if you are a Democrat or Republican, you want a free and fair election. So the question is, why does so many people not like Mike? He wasn't saying, I want just Trump to win. He's like, we want a fair and free election.
Right.
And now communists ultimately will take away elections. But right now, Mike's trying to make your vote count and make sure that America runs smooth. So why do so many people hate him? Why does the media pick him out, attack him, and take 10% truth and add 90% lie to the spin, right? So, Mike, help us understand what's going on. We love you. We want to help you
Right.
make the best products I've ever used, and we want people to get them. So,
Yeah,
so
we've
take
got a
us.
great special today on that, by the way, everybody. But here's what it is. When you say people, it's not people. I want to make that clear with everybody. I can go anywhere in this country. I can go in the heart of Chicago. I was an ex-cocaine crack addict from the streets, right in the middle of Minneapolis, and so I can go anywhere. It doesn't matter with the people anyway. But what's attacked me is the media, the relentlessly, and what I say is tried to take our country, which is the CCP, the globalists, the Uniparty, and this entity, whatever that may be. And people say, well, who's in charge of it or whatever? I don't know. I could do a lot of guessing, but over the last 4 years, since January 7th and 8th of 2021, which those days will go down in history as very important dates. And they say, well, why are those important dates? Well, those are the dates 1.2 million Americans got deplatformed off Vimeo, YouTube, Jack Dorsey's Twitter, Zuckerberg's Facebook, all these different platforms. And when that happened, if you spoke out about Jesus Christ or against the vaccine or questioned the 2020 election, you got canceled. And everyone else was afraid to talk because of January 6th. So our voice went down to a little tiny dot. Like when I was a kid, I'd turn off these black and white TVs. They'd go down this little dot. You turn them back on, they'd all come back to life. And that dot was our voice, and it almost went out. If it went out, it was over. I really believe that. But it didn't go out. And from that point on, when I was raising my hand going, hey, we have problems with our elections. We need to go to paper ballots and count. We have problems. We have problems. I'm screaming this. And from that point on, the attacks just got turned up. All the box stores canceling MyPillow, this cancel culture that came in. It's a spiritual battle of evil and good, of biblical proportions. Everybody's seen that. So you go through these 4 years, and the tax would go up and down on my company. And, remember, my company got sued. It's an employee-owned company, MyPillow. They didn't do anything. I'm the one out there going, hey, we got problems, and so there was that. And then now since our President Donald Trump won, they've turned up the attacks on MyPillow and myself probably now more than ever, or at least equal. And everyone's got to ask themselves, well, why is that? Because I stand in their way as a threat to go to paper ballots, hand counted, just like our president wants. He says it all the time. We need to get to what other countries have. 132 countries have banned electronic voting in their elections, have banned machines. Over 100 countries have banned early voting and mail-in voting. And we have the worst election platforms in the whole world. There's nobody worse than the United States. So I continue to speak out for that, but they continue to attack, and it just doesn't seem to end. Just recently, David, the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, I could say I won't call him evil. I'll say what he does, what he's doing is pure evil. He's attacked my charities now. When after my charities, the Lindell Foundation, which was set up to help people everywhere, I put 100% of the money in. I put all the money in. This is back in 2018, 19, 20, and set up this amazing platform to help people with where your money, let's say you put money into the foundation, 100% would go to the cause. I was covering all the overhead, any kind of overhead. But I put in 100% of the money. Then it got like a parked car right before the virus. And so that was parked. But the one that bothers me the most, they attacked, is called the Lindell Recovery Network.org. My book, where I went from a crack addict to a CEO, when I found Jesus Christ, when I was saved on February 18th, 2017. This platform just not only gets you off addiction, which is just a bonus, it gets you saved. It gets you to Jesus Christ. Well, Keith Ellison of Minnesota, they've come after this with everything they've had to try and shut that down. It's free. It's online. It's free. And so, it's like, then you got the IRS attacking MyPillow. And it's all this, I really believe all of this is politically motivated. When you say politically, it's not a Democrat or Republican thing. This is a thing where this deep state globalist can keep their tool to steal our elections in this country. And because you can't even explain it any other way why they would keep attacking when, hey, before it was Mike's a conspiracy theory. He wants to overturn the 2020 election. We got to hear that in the news every day for 4 years. But no, it's like, and when I was on Jimmy Kimmel and these other platforms, I said, Jimmy Kimmel asked me once on late night TV, he said, Mike, if your friend Donald Trump had been selected like you say Biden was, would you still be sounding the alarm? I said, absolutely, I would. And I'm showing it right now. This 2024 election, yeah, my great friend and the greatest president ever got put in, but I'm still sounding the alarm. We can't let this go down and be 4 years in vain. All these things going on to help all people, not just a party, to help all people, that can't be in vain. And I'm not going to let it be in vain. I'm never going to stop talking about this. But in the meantime, you get attacked on every day I wake up, I'm going, okay, my employees, I care about them so much and care about the company and care about people. And you just wonder why these people keep attacking the media, and now Keith Ellison, the IRS, all these things weaponized. I had my FBI take my phone back in the day. They still have my phone. I mean, what is this stuff? Remember, and I like what you said, Dave, in the beginning. I was the media's darling, the American dream on steroids. Here's a crack addict, got saved, and went and started this amazing company. And, you have, at one time we had a couple thousand employees and they're, made in the USA, all these great things. And the media would come up to me and, hey, Mike, how many more addicts are you hiring today to help them? How many more veterans are you hiring? Well, then all of a sudden in 2016, when I went all in for Donald Trump after I met him, I didn't know anything about politics. I didn't know a Democrat from a Republican. I didn't know a filibuster from a millibuster. I knew nothing. I had never voted in my life. And I go all in for him after I met him in a private meeting August 15, 2016, and he's asking me about, Mike, can you get through, make me your products here? And we talked about addiction. He was going to shut down the border. I thought, what a great man. He's going to be awesome. I had questioned his employees, and I came back to Minnesota, and I go, wow, I got to do a press release. I felt honored that a guy would reach out to me, and care what I had to say that's running for president. Well, I did that press release, and you'd think I killed someone. The media just attacked me overnight, just did a flip. In fact, I remember one time the lies they spewed out. Mike Lindell was the biggest drug dealer in the Twin Cities. And I'm going, my dealer stuck up for me. And they go, he never dealt a drug in his life. He tried to rid Minneapolis of drugs by doing them all. So that's where it's at, everybody. It's just very frustrating. And I get up every day and I pray and I'm going, God, am I doing the right thing? And I'm going to keep going and keep going. And so how do we fight back? We fight back with my pillow. Just since we don't have the box stores and everything else, we sell our products right to the people, you know.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, there's so much to cover, and we have such a short amount of time. But what Mike's saying, there's an old saying, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. And I know without Mike, totally separate with the business I'm in, I've had media groups come to my clients and I at 2 a.m. where I'm on vacation overseas, and they were threatening us to pull content that supported Mike Lindell, or their news affiliates would ban us and push us aside, and they'd have nothing else to do with us. So there is a real push against Mike Lindell. Do you understand, if you are a radical left liberal, Democrats and Republicans can use voting machines to cheat in elections? Okay? A machine doesn't know Democrat, Republican, liberal,
That's
conservative.
right.
All it knows is zeros and ones. So if you care about whatever it is, you need voting machines out so your voice can be heard.
Yep.
And again, obviously, I'm being super harsh because I'm sick of people like Mike Lindell being attacked. So many people, like you said, got censored and deplatformed.
Yep.
If you're an American, you have free speech. If you're an illegal in America, you do not have free speech. And we live in a republic, not a democracy. And this is why the media can manipulate and flip like they did on Mike. So easy. People are fickle, unfortunately, and they don't pay attention to the big picture. So that's why our founding fathers were wise enough to set up a republic to protect people from these whims and these manipulations. But now, Mike, the fact is, the biggest thing we can do as people who love God and love America to help you is buy product, right?
It really, that's all I got right now. And it really helps everything, because right now, by they attacking me, they figure if my pillow goes down, maybe Mike Lindell will shut up. And it's been a very big, I'm in Minnesota now. I've come back up here with these current attacks. I have to keep my pillow. That's the kind of the foundation. If that goes down, believe me, if they wouldn't win, I would keep talking. You'd have to, I think my friend told the Washington Post once, you're going to have to kill him because he will never stop speaking out for what's right. But in the meantime, you guys, and that's why we do pass along, and I've got these right here now. We're running our biggest special in the history of MyPillow. We got in all the spring sheet sale for Percale and my famous Giza Dream Sheets. And we had a couple box stores out there that were going to come back on board, and they haven't come back on board yet. So we've got to pass the savings on right to the customers, or right to the people out there that want to help us. So we're doing right now the queen size. They're $29.98. You guys, this is unheard of. They're normally like $89 or $99 in the Percale, for $29.98 for the queen. And I think it's 34, look it up there, $34.98 for the king, or $39.98 for the king. But we also have the Giza Dream Sheets ones, the Giza Dream, and all the colors and everything. Everything's in, and you guys can go. The best way to find that, if you go to the MyPillow website and scroll down till you see radio specials, I put that up there today, a picture of me, and use the promo code Remarkable. You're going to get something no one else in this country is getting right now. And I'm going to read them off here. So the Percale we've got the queen at, like I said, the normal price $89.98, $29.98. They're usually on sale for $49.98. We're doing this right now today, this special. We've never done it this, and there's all the spring colors came in. There's over 12 colors. I've got all kinds of, you name it, they're there. And then, or you can call 800-644-6612. That's give them the code Remarkable. That's 800-644-6612. You guys, these are the best sheets. By the way, David, My great friend, our president of the United States, his favorite product of my pillow, and he brings it up all the time, is the sheets. He
Yeah.
loves the sheets. I mean, people would say, well, how can sheets affect your sleep? There's there's nothing like these sheets in the world. I designed them years ago. I had to learn all about sheets because I was obviously I'm all into sleep and getting the best sleep we can get. But I remember the president, he says to me, he goes, Mike, these cheap sheets are better than the other ones. And I'm going, they're not cheap, sir. They're just a good price.
Yeah, and that's so true. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't support Mike and my pillow because we're friends. I don't support Mike and my pillow because of a political stance. When I tell you the sheets are amazing, I have the Pericol sheets, the Giza sheets, and the flannel sheets, and I use all of them for different seasons because there's
Right.
a different texture to them. One's softer and cooler, one's a little bit warmer. And then those flannel sheets where we're coming out of winter, they are the most comfortable sheets. Mike, you actually need to put a warning label because I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. They're that comfortable. You like want to sleep in and shut off your
Right.
alarm. So I
That
can
is
say,
true.
yeah, I can say with God as my witness, and you guys can challenge us on this. Try the sheets. They're the best I've ever used. They're so comfortable. They're durable. And usually you wash stuff and it dulls out. My Giza sheets are still bright. That I don't know what the color's called, but it's like almost like a bluish green.
Right.
I-
And we got different kinds, but you
yeah,
know,
it's like
too, people forget that we have a 10-year warranty on our sheets. I'm going, who does that? Back in the day when I added different things back when we found when we produced these sheets, when we made them, I asked all kinds of questions and I said, this long staple cotton that we use, and I said, will this withstand washing machine and keep washing and drying and all this stuff? I want to put a 10-year warranty on them, and I was able to. Now they've been around, the Geese one's been around for over 10 years now. I don't know if we've ever had any return for any problems whatsoever. They just keep on giving you the best sleep ever. And when I'm on the road, that's what I miss the most. I'll bring my pillow with me, but
yeah.
I'm looking back to get back home going, wow, because it's different. People say, oh, hotel sheets and all this, that. No, we have the best sheets ever made in history. There's nothing better. And then the price. This is the lowest price in the history of my pillow. What I'm announcing right here on your show with that promo code remarkable. Remember, everybody, queen size, $29.98, king size, what was that? 30. Pull it up
You said
again.
34.95.
34.95 or whatever. And then in Giza, you have the Giza Dream Sheets. Those are the normal price on the Queens on sale is $99.98. We're taking another $30 off that at $69.98. And then the Kings at $79.98. So this is the lowest price of the sheets ever. There's free shipping options available with the promo code remarkable. So that's how you guys could all really help my pillow. One of the things every day that I wake up, my worry is getting up and I'm praying to God, please, let my pillow get through. My pillow, they've done nothing. My employees, as far as speaking out, they're not political over there. I have all walks of life. I have people, addicts that work for me, veterans, you name it. This isn't my pillow is getting attacked for their CEO that's speaking out and won't stop speaking out no matter what, because I know if we don't have secure elections, it's over. And we're coming to an age with AI and all these things, these technologies, where who do you want regulating them? I said this 4 years ago. Who do you want regulating them? People that are elected to help the people, for the people, by the people, or people that are selected with the machine by one click of a button and evil? If you got the evil running this, it's over. And we see how politics. I used to believe that politics didn't even affect me. You look at it and say, I used to think politics didn't even affect me back when I was an addict. And boy, we all know how it affects everything we do. Decisions that are being made at the top affect everything we do. And
Yeah, if
so,
anybody eats eggs, have you ate eggs? Like, look what the Biden administration did to that industry, and now we're
right.
literally paying for that horrible decision.
Right. I'll tell you
That's one of a million things. I'm just
yeah,
saying
that's one of a million
they
things.
killed a
And
ton of
everything,
chickens so we don't have eggs.
right. And everything you can direct back to our elections. Everything. You have a country like Argentina. A couple years ago, a judge said it was the summer of 22. Said, you know what? We've got to get rid of these electronic voting machines and go to paper ballots. And they said, but we can't get it done in time for the election. They did it in 4 months. Faster than the Netherlands, everybody. And now they have a new leader and their country's free. It's amazing. I've met him. It's awesome. And on the other hand, you have a country like Brazil with no paper, just the machines, and a guy fresh out of prison, Lula, or not fresh out, they pulled him out of prison, the cartels, put him in power and took my great friend President Bolsonaro out of power. There's so many things when you can control the elections, everybody. And by the way, David, over the last 4 years, the pushback on me and my team, which you can also find that out, everybody, at lindellplan.com. We're still going full force to get rid of these and to get to paper ballots hand counted. I'm working with our great president and which he wants, and the teams I have at lindellplan.com, the Cause of America. I have the election crime bureau, all these entities that I'm in charge of that keep, well, this is what we're doing. But over the last 4 years, you would think you'd be able to go into places like Alabama, Texas, South Dakota, these red states, and say, hey, you guys, we got a problem here. Let's look at this. But no, it was blockers, block. That I call them Uniparty Republicans blocking. And in the meantime, you had Democrats in the movie Kill Chain that said, like Amy Klobuchar, Kamala Harris, saying, hey, we got to get rid of these machines and go to paper ballots. All these Democrats. Well, now, since the election, it's actually becoming easier now because everybody, when you talk about not the uniparties of both, but the politicians, I think, they're going, hey, why wouldn't we want secure elections and to go to this? So it's been a little bit easier in that, but the attacks have been turned up because there's some bad entities that run this world out there, this evil, and they know they're losing, but they know also where, I become kind of the hub of the wheel of election, anything with the election, anything that's going on in the country seems to come through what we're doing. And I just want everybody to know, in spite of all the attacks, if you by helping get our products in MyPillow, that helps me not be distracted over here so I can have a piece they're taken care of. And then I'm leading from the bottom up and the top down to get to the best elections. We need to set the standard for the whole world. And by the way, we need this to happen before the summer of 26, because that's where you get uniparty Republicans in there. I think a lot of people call them rhinos, going, well, that's where they steal their stuff in the primaries. And so I'm very hopeful. I mean, everybody sees the great things that our president's doing. They're just common sense things. Problem, solution, and what it'll manifest to. He's such I call it the new party of common sense. And I remember David telling him before the election, we were meeting. It was like, it was last summer. And I think people like to hear this. I said to him, both of us are sitting there. I said, sir, I said, Mr. President, I said, because all these bad things kept happening. And I said, they're actually there's two buckets going on here. I said, the one bucket is your bucket, the bucket of common sense. And as these bad things keep happening and this administration destroying our country, everybody can see it. And they're pouring into this bucket from both sides, from everywhere. And your buckets, just keeps getting bigger. And then I said, and then there's another bucket, and that's the biggest revival for Jesus Christ in history. I said, people don't look to God when things are going good. It's usually when things are going pretty bad and everybody's praying and pouring into this bucket. Well, anyways, and I said, so all these things, these bad things are actually helping. God uses all things for good for those who believe. And then he looks at me and he says, but Mike, he goes, I don't know if we're going to be able to fix all this in 4 years. He said, it was just so massive that, everybody knows what they were doing. And this is exactly what I said to him. I said, sir, with God, all things are possible. In him working through you, you will get it done faster and better than anyone in history. And he's proving that now, what God can do working through, this great man and this great and we're seeing miracles, but we can't let it be in vain. And that's what I'm standing for. And that's why they still want to destroy Mike Lindell and my pillow and anything I have now, my charities, my recovery network. This just shows everybody this is a battle of evil and good. It's not just a like two parties or whatever. It's never, you've never seen me out there talking about, this party or that party. It's about saving our country, saving the world, and saving people for eternity.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, you can say it's a party or then a uniparty and then the elitists and then the globalists, but it really goes back to one, Satan.
Right.
It's a real
Yep.
God who loves us, and there's Satan who just wants to destroy everything because he knows his fate and misery
Yep.
loves company. So let me ask you a question, Mike. With everything going on, you have been made to look like, what he's saying is not true. Yet there seems to be a lot of fact behind the fraud in the failures in the voting machines. And you have like companies like Dominion and Fox News and all these people who have absolutely ruined your reputation and drained your bank account because of their activities. Two-part question. With the new administration and with all the great people that President Trump's electing to head certain areas, is there any, whether it's with you or someone else, is there any government movement to really reveal whether these machines are fraudulent or not? And then if that happens, will you be able to sue? It might take 10, 15 years, but we'll be able to sue these companies and news channels and get reimbursed for some of your losses.
Well, I could pray that, and I just look for God for that faith because I look back. In fact, I said it yesterday on a show. I had tens of millions of dollars that you go back to 2020, and I had tens of millions in account. This was just cash, and you start there. And I came out with a supplement to save the country, and the FDA and the government and Big Pharma went after me and shut that down. So I lost $10 million in that, just gone. And that what I got out of that, the IRS is trying to say I can't deduct it back then to deduct it now. Then you move into the election cycle. $40 million I put in the last 4 years, every dime I had left in the world into not with the lawsuits, that's separate. This is just pouring in money wherever we could be to save the country, to get to expose all the fraud and with these devices and the people behind it. And then now recently this year with all these new attacks on the charities and everything. And right now, you guys, I want everybody to think of this. These companies you've seen settle with these machine companies, that's their insurance companies doing that, just so everybody is aware of that. These are insurance companies and corruption. I could sit here and go on to that about what it looks like out there in the public. For me, right now, I just got, if you look in the news, the one company, Smartmatic, I'm in contempt of court. I've given them everything I can give them. I have nothing to hide. And I'm on the, always want to be on the offense. I've had different lawyers. I go, I'm the one that asked Dominion to sue me because I had all the evidence. I said, sue me. I don't care. Here it is. If I would have thought, now would I still do it again if I could turn back time? Absolutely. Because I know I can't unsee what I see and unknow what I know. I can't, it's over, everybody. If this doesn't change, I don't care what anybody out there believes. If you've seen and know what I know, we have to. This isn't something we should do, we have to do. The great news is our president knows that too. He knows 100%. And when you ask about this administration, 100%. This isn't going to go just put it behind and do all these great things in the present. He knows too. Him and this administration know we have to reset the foundation of this country. And it all starts with our elections. I'm right now. We're not even to summary judgment on all these lawsuits for billions of dollars against MyPillow and Mike Lindell, and it's just disgusting. This is 4 years later, and we're not even in summary judgment. They just keep demanding more stuff from me to tie up my money, to tie up my time, and that's how they're attacking. It's called lawfare. Remember, everybody, lawfare had not been done in this country since 1792. It started on February 4th of 2021 when Smartmatic sued Fox News. That's when this lawfare started. They run one county in the United States, LA County. I mean, it's just beyond belief that if these things ever end, it'll probably be the year 2027, 2028. I mean, this is because they're stretching out. There's the different things that have happened and everything that's been exposed now. You just don't see it in the media. Do you think Fox News is going to show you everything that's out there now? You guys, we have a case in Georgia where Alex Halderman, this case been going on 5 years or 6 years. And it's a Democrat judge a year ago where Alex Halderman, and he's on the left, but he's a cyber guy. He hacked in the middle of her courtroom with a ballpoint pen and flipped the whole election. And she still has to rule on that. How would you like to be the first judge that has to rule against this powerful entity that's out there? You know what I mean? This isn't just a company, this is their tool that, using the internet, using all these tools. And they've had threats. I mean, everyone says, well, Mike, judges have not ruled. No, they haven't ruled because they're afraid. But all it's going to take is one miracle, one judge to make a ruling. Just like if you remember back when the judge ruled in Florida that masks were nonsense on airplanes, overnight they disappeared across the whole world because one judge said, this is nonsense. All it's going to take is one judge to go, hey, look at this. This is real. Everything that's been said, not just by me, but everything that's out there, let's all look at it. I mean, right now, I thought maybe that with our President Donald Trump winning, that maybe all the Democrats would go, hey, let's look into this election, right? So let's open them up. Okay. Well, here's what happened on election night, everybody. On the night of the election at 2:30 in the morning when Donald Trump had won, I was at the convention center in Florida, and I had all the usual suspects in front of me. I had CNN, Politico, Washington Post, New York Times, ABC. They're all standing in front of me. I've actually become pretty good friends with all these attack reporters because that's all I've had. Fox isn't going to put me on. So anyway, they're all standing there and they go, well, Mike, they send the little snot from ABC. She goes, well, Mike, now that your friend won, was this election stolen too? And I said, you guys know me. Come on, Sue-Ann. I said, you know me. I said, I don't trust any election ever done with computers. I said, they stole 4 senators and 9 congressmen in the 2024 election. I said, you know me. I want to melt them down and turn them into prison bars. And I said, and then all of them were standing there and I said, but I want to thank each and every one of you reporters for attacking me every single day for 4 years straight, because that's the only way I was able to get the word out to the people that we had problems, and you helped get him elected. And they all went, no, we didn't.
Yeah. And there is real problems, and it goes deep, ladies and gentlemen. And there's more layers than we even can talk about in 10 hours. And there's more layers than we understand, really. But at the end of the
Absolutely.
day, how you can help is be a voice, obviously, do the right things. Like Mike and I both believe, first investigate your relationship with Christ. After
Yes.
that, everything else falls into place.
Mhm.
But when it comes to practical, everyday stuff, if you want to support Mike while he's doing the work, support his company. I can say again from firsthand use, I'm a customer. The travel pillow, the pillows, the sheets, the slippers, they're the best I've ever used. The 2-inch, the 2.0 mattress topper, it kept me from buying a new mattress. So at full price, his products are 100% worth every penny. You would not regret it. But at 30 to 80% off everything, like those sheets are like 60, 70% off, it is a no-brainer. You should actually stock up or buy them for Christmas gifts, right? So go to mypillow.com/remarkable and buy all you can, because you're getting awesome stuff. You're saving a ton of money. You're helping a great American company, and you're helping a great American and Mike. And ultimately it turns around and you help yourself, your kids, your grandkids, and generations to come. So, Mike, I know we covered a lot of ground, and I am so thankful you were here with us today. Is there anything else or any final thoughts or anything else you want to share? Because I know you have another meeting coming up
Yeah.
before we go.
Yeah. I want to give everybody a word of hope here, because people come up to me all the time and they still do going, Mike, the ones that really know that we have to get to these paper ballots, whatever, they come up and say, Mike, I prayed for this or I prayed for that. My prayers didn't come true. And what I say to that is those are reactionary prayers, and they might not be God's will or God's timing. This is real important, everybody. You're praying for something and it doesn't come to fruition right away. It might not be God's will or God's timing. And I tell people, well, where is God's will? Well, God's will is in the Word. So if you stay in the Word every day, you can be proactive in prayer and they line up beautifully. It's really helped me, everybody, because I'm not a patient person. If you Google the word patience, you're not going to see a picture of me, okay? But I've had to learn that. I've had to be patient, and I can look back now, and usually I can even recognize it going, hey, this is happening and God's going to use it for good. Or why is, I could pray, why isn't the attacks let up? God, I've been praying. Why is my, living day by day, and we're trying to get through and make it through with MyPillow day by day and these things. And, it's whatever it is, I'm my faith, I'm confident because I'm staying in the Word every day and being proactive in prayer. And that's what I say to everybody out there. If there's something that, and I'm sure a lot of that, though, remember, everybody, just because our great president got in, it's not, this goes much deeper than we can't let it be in vain. So please line up your prayers and be proactive and, pray that our biggest prayer should be that we get more and more people saved during these times. We're in the greatest time in history to be alive. I've said that so many times. We're in we were at an apex in history of good and evil battling of biblical proportions, and it's not even over. You got evil just kind of sitting down here, just going, maybe replanning. Now what do? We're losing, right? We know who wins in the end, but we've got to all stay together and stay proactive in prayer, and that's my message. And I will say that, if you want to help, I can say help MyPillow, promo code Remarkable. If you want to learn what's going on, go to lindellplan.com. That'll show you everything that we're doing to save this country's election platforms, which in turn saves the country, where this will not all be in vain, the great things that are getting done right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And
thanks.
ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. You can contact Mike or myself if you have any questions. Share this with your family and friends, because really, there's no way the YouTube algorithm is going to let this episode thrive, right? We'll be on Rumble. We got it on our website, davidpasqualone.com, remarkablepeoplepodcast.com. But the only way to really spread the word to help Mike Lindell, to help his company, to help yourself, to get free or get really inexpensive stuff, almost free, right?
That's right.
Just spread the word and let people know, because really it's like the Alamo for America in some ways, but we're not going to have the same outcome. We're going to win. After the Alamo, they said, come get it. This is the come get it moment. You want it, Uniparty, come get it. But we're going to bring all the facts to the table, and we're going to fight, and we're going to die fighting, or we're going to win fighting, but we're not going to stop fighting. So Mike, thanks again for being a great American fighter, and most of all, loving Jesus.
No, thank you. God bless you. Thank you, everybody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We'll see you in the next episode. Ciao. Thanks again for watching the Remarkable People podcast, and check out the spring sale at MyPillow, what Mike Lindell told you about. The biggest sale ever on sheets, blankets, mattress toppers, pillows, and more. Go to mypillow.com/remarkable to receive 30 to 80% off everything you order, and maybe even get free shipping too. Check it out now.
The Remarkable People podcast. Check it out. The Remarkable People podcast. Listen, do, repeat. For life. The Remarkable People podcast.